Yes, I gotta learn. Okay, check. I can't tell if I'm live yet. It says I'm streaming, right? Oh, there we go. Okay, it is streaming. All right, so we are back. All right, guys. Yeah, give it a couple minutes here. So yeah, let me get that out of the way. Just making sure this works. We put in the Discord right here. On YouTube right now. Put that there for now. Okay. Yes, see if we get some people. I'm gonna do a rundown of a few things too. Alright. I don't even know if I can play music though. That's the only thing. Hmm. Alright, let me see too. How is this looking too? Yeah, yeah, it's fine. But alright. So yeah, we'll give it a couple minutes. Alright, what's going on, guys? Just gonna take a look at a bunch of stuff in the market because this is looking nuts right now. Things are crazy. This is not gonna be too wild of a stream, but just gonna stream a little bit, see what's going on, what's happening. All right. Yeah, I don't think I can play music. Okay. All right, perfect. So right now, what I want to look at, guys, I want to talk about just the overall market itself. Bitcoin, obviously not looking great. Starting to drop, coming back down very hard. We'll cover majors a little bit, ETH, Bitcoin, Sol. We'll talk about like price levels, things like that. We'll get into some altcoins, and then we'll just look at a bunch of different altcoins, trends, different stuff like that. Cover a few things, because I don't expect much from this live right now. All right, cool. So we'll start with Bitcoin, because anyways, right now. So yeah, let me go to these levels too. So over the last, few weeks here, biggest thing that I've been a proponent of is I've wanted to see Bitcoin trend higher, chop for a bit, and actually push towards like 100K. This is kind of like a general resistance level I've been waiting for. Been wanting to see. It did not actually get there. We came to what, around 97? Then from there we ended up failing. After we failed that level, we are now in cascade mode to the downside. So I've seen like so many people on Twitter today too, just either calling for a bottom, saying it's going 10 times lower than it actually is. But biggest thing right now, so for Bitcoin bottom line, guys, main thing I'm looking at, to keep it very simple, I think Bitcoin is easily going to come into this range and chop within that range. That's it. I think there's going to be a lot of chop though. It's not going to be, a 2, 3, 4-day thing. It's not going to be a week. We're probably going to be chopping for a while, and we haven't even hit into this range yet. Technically I've seen some people calling a bottom. Why? Because technically if you look at the Pico top of this area, technically we do have a level that was tapped into. In my opinion though, if we zoom over here, we're actually in a downtrend right now. This was a major break down for Bitcoin, but also just a lot of majors. This to me kind of confirmed that, we're probably still going to be trending down for a while. I'd love to be a hyperbole right now, but I just don't think that the dip is in, at all whatsoever. I would say the first area though, like I said, I have it circled. I'd say around even low 60s, low to mid 60K region, I think is where Bitcoin eventually is going to either, chop here, come back up, bounce a little, even if it goes straight down. Once it hits this level, this general area, I do want to see it kind of just subside. Chop here, do something like that for a while. Right, if that, does tank like that, but that's the main thing I'm looking at Bitcoin for, just in this general range, that's it. This coincides though with Ethereum too, even though ETH is actually at a pretty clear level here too. Same thing, aside from maybe we get a bounce, something like that. Short term, I do expect if Bitcoin is going to tank even further, the next area is actually well under 2K. Anywhere from 16, 17, 1800 ETH, I think is actually probably going to be the Pico bottom of the cycle, at least for the time being. Biggest thing too is on a weekly, I just want to see the RSI tap into well oversold. We're not there yet. Almost there. The last two times where it went oversold was where? Right here, which I think was the FTX collapse. Excuse me. That's where we hit oversold, was that final cascade, which I'm not saying we're going to hit one more just straight down, but you got to kind of expect it at this point. We're very bearish in my opinion. And like I said, I think we're coming down a little further. But other than that, these levels are just going to coincide with everything else. Sol, though, in my opinion, doesn't really have too clear of an area that it wants to fall to. Because to me, the main range that I was sitting was here. And clearly broke down. Before here, kind of held on a very high time frame. Broke through, came back up. This was broken. This to me is not really a clear level at all. That other wick, have a feeling, same thing. We could get a little bounce. But that to me is just that is likely breaking down and just going straight into no man's land. There's really no clear levels. Maybe this here, 78, but it's probably just going to chill, chop around here until it finds its ground somewhere. So Sol is not looking good either. But, even through all this downside, all this chop and bearishness, there's still on and off random opportunities in the market, right? I feel like the trenches, though, have been nuts. The last, week, now probably 2 weeks, it has been insane. And I'll cover that stuff in a minute, too, but, some of the main alts, too, that I have been watching for a while, nothing's really doing much. Very quiet, kind of just down only, aside from Hype. Hyperliquid here has been pushing hard. Actually surprised that it's been holding this strength, too. Because this, to be honest, I thought this was coming all the way back down to kind of test, because it had a ton of volume. I thought we'd want to push do something like this. But I still think that might happen. It might take a while, though. Might take a little bit longer for Hype to hit that area. Yeah, BitTensor, bro. This thing is just not doing it. This entire trend, we're all obviously hoping for a huge push to the upside, kind of breaking down, which is not a good sign. Same thing with, most coins, even Zora, I've been very bullish on. Aside from a scam wick it had yesterday or 2 days ago, this same thing. This has been trending down because sentiment's just not great. But outside of that, like I said, I still think we got downside. I don't think anyone should be buying anything heavy, especially right now. Yes, we might get a little bit of a bounce, but for me, I need to see a lot of chop for Bitcoin to actually confirm to me that, like, maybe we are actually bottomed. Kind of like I was waiting for here, instead of just jumping in on the wick, you gotta see some data first. So same thing. We'll see what happens with Bitcoin though. But also too, yeah, we'll cover some trenches stuff. It's like I really haven't streamed in months. But I just want to start streaming a little bit more. But anyways, I hope anyone and everyone watching, hope you guys are having a good night. Or day. Wherever you guys are located. But yeah, so we had Molt. What is Molt doing now? Yeah, that is crazy. The most volatile, like, week and a half I've ever seen. This thing went from sub a million to like 100 million. What was that, like 2 days? No, a day and a half. And it's wild too, it just hasn't caught a bid yet because I think most of the beta plays have been catching bids. Like, there's been so many. Actually, Clanch right here was one of them. This one we took a trade on the other day. Actually, right here. We jumped in, we got in and out. And for me too, I'm like, you know what? We literally just doubled, sold it, and then what happens? Boom. Could have been a 4x. But in this sentiment, honestly, you got to just take what you can get on some of these trades. If everything fits, if it aligns for a very short-term setup, take it and get out after some gains because nothing is held and nothing holds in the sentiment. It's literally crazy right now. Toronto, let's go. Nice and warm over there. That's awesome though. Yeah, we had Claude too. This thing actually looked like it wanted to push and break out yesterday. Same thing, broke down though. What else? Oh, I just saw the craziest thing too. What was that? Oh, I did. I have it up. Like, yeah, you gotta be kidding. Hold up. Like, what is this? Hold up. Yeah, I just hired my first human. Like, rent a robot. I think there's like a couple coins. I don't think they're official or legit, but I just saw that. I booked a human evangelist in San Fran to spread the word of Crustafarianism. That's wild. Molt Church. Like, bro, I don't like some of these coins. I don't know what people are on. Is this trying to be the smoking chicken fish of this like crab meta? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, honestly, if that actually got use, I don't know. That would run. That is a weird ass, crazy concept. But like I said, I don't think there's an official token to it. I thought that was wild though. And yeah, this dude has been pumping coins left and right, whether he knows it or not. Shout out to Jeremy. This dude pumps a few coins. That was good to see. Perch went nuts the other day. Dude, yeah, that's a great question. The amount of times I've round tripped is like, well, both. I actually am a pro at both of those. I would say I think selling the bottom hurts, especially if something you believe in, you got conviction in. You hold it for a while, even weeks, months. It's like the second you sell it, 2 days later is when it finally takes off. Like, yeah, that's probably the most frustrating thing in this market, is it happens all the time. Yeah, Twitter too. Oh no, there was trying to think too. There's so many random coins that have been launching. So I feel like too, even a lot of those beta plays probably weren't worth aping into. There's a couple of them I thought were cool, but Claude too, though. Claude has been taking over, guys. One thing I could give to all of you is if you're not messing around testing out AI tools, even just to learn it and mess with it, this thing is tanking the entire stock market right now. Tons of software companies, everyone's getting fearful because of Claude and a few others, eventually. Just taking out entire industries by storm right now. In a little bit, though, I'm going to give you guys a few alts, though, that I am watching that I really like. This I've been waiting for, actually. Great polymarket trading agent. I'm waiting for someone to build an actual legitimate token that kind of does something like that. Because if that's a microcap, that'll easily run. That'll run like crazy. But after it runs, you got to be selling it. Same thing, I saw this one, MLTL, the other day when it launched. Just pumped overnight, I missed that. What else? I'm trying to see too. See what other beta plays that were just ripping. You're kidding, right? Claw strategy, no. There's no way that's running. Oh. Wait, what? Is that the same one? No. No, Molt X, that's the one I'm thinking of. I thought that would have just done a bunch more X's too from there. Yeah, no. Why don't we go to trending? Let's see what we got, anything new right now. Because honestly, guys, I don't think it is the time to be degenning much at all. Very much so, just be patient and wait. But, when you're glued to the charts, all you can do is look all the time, Even on Sol, this Epstein shit's been wild too. It's crazy. Yeah, like, I don't get why people are buying this shit, bro. It's wild. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Rent a Human. I don't think this is actually endorsed by them. If it's not, this thing is gonna rug in probably 2 hours. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, I don't know about that. Peak with dual mint robots. Wow, I'm not sure. I'm never the dual mint robots. I'm actually not even familiar with that. That's good though. If you're making some stuff on that, nice. Making some income. Yeah, Peak I still think is a top tier project as far as narratives and trends for robotics. It's still a very high quality project, but sell pressure combined with sentiment is disastrous for anything. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's not a coin that launched 2 days ago, people are just not buying it, because of this. Yeah, let's get into some alts too. There's guys a few coins that I've loved. So Surge, in my opinion, is still on the table. Surge is another launchpad. I still just think the connections that they got is huge, and it's at a great entry. But like I said, I'm still not looking to buy, at least today, tomorrow. I really want to see Bitcoin drop more to be jumping into anything, but Surge, in my opinion, is still very slept on. Let's see what people are saying about it too right now. Yeah, the biggest thing though too is they need to actually have a launch hit, not just launch, not like a good project. They need to have a launch that goes on a massive rally. If that happens, Surge is going to hit a literal brand new all-time high. But if their launch goes to shit, it launches and kind of dies out in a day and a half, which is probably more likely, very likely to happen in my opinion, then that's going to be one you probably want to stay away from. Launchpads right now are very sketchy, to be honest. Excuse me. Yeah, I can't believe Hype is actually looking really good. It seems like though people might be starting to buy the bottom here though. Because I don't know, at the same point, from a shorter term outlook than I'm looking at, I'm kind of looking at it from like a weekly, like very long term. You know, short term, it does look like we might get a push. Wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, like that doesn't look bad. I wouldn't be surprised to see ETH back at like 24 next like 2 days. You know, maybe it goes up, chops a bit, you know, eventually then it comes back down. Who knows? I'm just waiting for even lower to just load up. You know, even on, what is that site? Crypto Bubbles? Crypto Bubbles. Yeah. I usually don't use this, but I kind of like looking at it. Yo, this is wild. I can't believe privacy coins are tanking this bad too. Weeks ago, half of crypto Twitter was roasting you, shaming you if you weren't bullish on privacy. It's crazy. It's all narrative. It's all this game is. Ride the narrative, ride these trends. Even IP, I actually kind of like IP. Story Protocol. I gotta look back into their tokenomics though. I don't remember how bad their sell pressure was. My god, Caspa, I forgot about this coin. Yeah, that thing's been dead for a while, damn. What other ones too? Dot. How is it like, yo, how are half of these coins still like in existence? I don't get it. It's wild. Even VeChain. This is one of the first altcoins I ever bought when I got into crypto. What price is that at too? Holy moly. Yeah, that is nuts. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to give you guys a couple alts. So like I said, Surge is one of the main ones I'm still looking at. Now that it's on a dip, they took the attention away from it for a little bit. Now, like I said, if their launch goes well though, this is going to rally very hard again. The other one I'm still looking at is Repo. I can't believe this came all the way back down. This is where we entered like a month ago. Came all the way back down to entry. Repo is still a powerhouse project. These two are just, I think, to very high quality, like lower caps. Even though Surge is, like 30 million-ish, I think. 30, 40 million. Repo is like sub 10 million now. But those two I think are very strong. Same with Cards. Cards is another coin. I made a video talking about these maybe a week ago. Cards though I really like, but it's hard for me to see this coin pick up even in this sentiment. Again, unless we get a bounce, then maybe these coins get, a few days of upside, maybe a week, but hard for me to see this kind of pushing anytime soon. Just because it's like a trend that it's just the whole market's not really focused on this as like an actual trend, like Pokemon cards on chain and stuff like that. If we were like mega bullish though, and any trend and meta was running, this would definitely run because it's just an interesting, unique meta, But at least right now, biggest things that I'm looking for though, with brand new coins, new launches, do not buy this thing. I don't know why I have this. I don't know why I still have that up. What I'm looking for with new coins though right now is things related to Claude, X402, ERC8004. I think that combination is very slept on. And a coin that I really like is Dreams. This is on Solana base. Liquidity is mad low on base though. But Dreams I think is very strong. It's been very choppy though. But I think when it comes down to this AI agent meta again, I think stuff like this is going to eventually take off because this is the real infrastructure behind this kind of meta and things that are being built around that. Because right now it's like even Moltbook, it reminds me of just GOAT. There's, it's kind of cool, I guess. It's what the market wants right now. But the actual infrastructure behind it, or projects that are building real infrastructure in that realm, they still are just not getting that kind of attention. That's why I've been watching Dreams. I really like this coin. Dev is incredibly active too. He's been building for a while. But Dreams, I think, is still very strong. Just kind of ties into everything here. This was a pretty interesting read too. I like that. But Daydreams was pretty good. I'm trying to think too, because the other one actually is Perch. Like, I can't believe how down bad it is now. But Perch this was a beautiful trade though. Even though it was one of the hardest holds on Solana in the last month. This thing, we called this at what? I think I called it all the way down here at 800K. I assumed it was going to break out and run. Oh no, where was it? Here. Down there, it ended up just blasting off. From minus 70% up to literally 10-20x. That was pretty crazy. But Perch, I still think, is unbelievably undervalued with what they're kind of doing. Bro, the end game for agents, guys, is anyone that logs into any of these LLMs, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever the fuck it is, right? For an agent to be able to either know your purchasing, spending habits, and then to buy stuff on different websites, either not without you knowing, but being able to buy things for you on your behalf, that to me is one of the end goals for agentic commerce. And that is exactly what Perch is trying to build. Now, yes, it's, super low micro cap. This is not the next, $2 billion coin, but from risk to reward with what they're focusing on, and fundamentally it's good enough to really run, I definitely think this is slept on. I'm actually shocked it's selling off so hard. Because that's why I pumped, though, is that the founder of USDC, I think, or co-founder, something like that, kind of tweeted about it the other day. But that was huge. Perch is very slept on, in my opinion. Especially all the way back down here. I'm actually thinking about reaccumulating more. And just same thing, letting it sit. But I don't know. And oh yeah, Toilet Coin, the next $2 billion runner. Yeah, what the fuck is... I don't know. I don't even question it at this point. Excuse me. I'm trying to think too, what other coins have I been watching lately? Perch and Dreams have been the main ones the last couple days. I guess yeah, because it's even most of these other shitters, I'm not even looking at them today. Literally, I've been watching Clanch heavy the last 2 days, but sentiment is just not taking this one again. Because I almost wanted to go for another long, and have it at some point, go for another push to all-time high, but it seems like it didn't want to do that. So yeah, I'd say for the most part, guys, just be cautious with what you're buying. If anything, this is the time to be researching and finding very strong altcoins down bad to then accumulate once Bitcoin comes to an actual bottom. Technically that could fit right now. As we are kind of stalled out here. We've been down for a while. We could get a bounce. But in my opinion, when I say bottomed out, I want to see chop. I want to see price action like this from Bitcoin. I don't care how long it takes or when. That's the kind of price action I want to see from it. Something like this. If we sit, we tank, and then we just chop here. This is where I will be accumulating most of my altcoin bags. Because at that point, I would think we would have at least another attempt to run back very high. I'm not saying that this is going to be the dip and then we just go to a new high, but I think the best risk to reward in the entire market is going to be if we do come lower in that range, altcoins, whatever levels they are, that's going to be the accumulation range for like everything. I think that'll be the best possible entry for anything and everything. Because I look at crypto, guys, you can't just look at it from a price perspective. I even just saw like on the news, TV, people are talking about crypto now. Everyone is looking at it from a fear perspective. Like they're like worried about MicroStrategy, like, oh, now he's, underwater or whatever. There's fear that he's going to sell, fear that all these other companies are going to be selling, fear about quantum with Bitcoin and shit. All that fear, the more fear, the better. Because when fear is maxed out, Bitcoin is going down. But if you play this market, play with emotions versus price, if anything. Definitely want to see everyone's emotions just killed. I mean, in this whole cycle, altcoin holders have felt that for like 2 years straight, but yeah, I don't really use this too often anymore. Forgot about that. We check chat. All right. No extra, bro. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Hazy J, do I like Ondo? Ondo, honestly, I think Ondo is still a strong coin, but the biggest thing is sentiment, guys. If people aren't trying to buy, altcoins in general, if the market is just down bad, doesn't matter what the coin is, the sentiment kind of leads all. But I would say just Ondo in general. It was a kind of a pretty good altcoin for RWAs, but yes, the market has just not been liking any coins that have been out for a while. It's just weird. But yeah, sorry to run that down. Yeah, Ondo was pretty good. Shizzy, what's going on, bro? Yeah, you're going to be one of the first guests I get on. Of you and 2 other guests I want to get on the stream at some point very soon. Yeah, StreamYard, that's what I need. That's what I got to use. Yeah, facts. Yeah, no, like I said, I got to get a bunch of people on stream at some point. I haven't streamed in months, so I'm like, let me start it back up. Let me try to get a stream or 2 in. And then I just want to invite all you guys, a ton of different people, and just chill, vibe out. But hopefully the market can look a lot better, at least somewhat soon. But oh my, yeah, should we look at other down bad alts right now? I haven't even looked at a lot of majors. Yeah. What is X? Oh, that broke too. That's bad. Yep, XRP. Oh my lord. I haven't looked at Sui in a month. That's bad. Oof. Dude. Yeah, AVAX. AVAX was looking good over here until... Oh my god. Yeah, Ondo for a long-term bag. Yeah, that's not bad. Let me go back to Ondo, actually. But yeah, thanks, Shizzy. I'm definitely going to use that StreamYard. What was I just looking up? Ondo. Oh, wow, so the chart's back down to the October range. You know what? Yeah, I think honestly, if we do get a lot of downside for a while, I need to see their sell pressure kind of slow down, which I don't know if it will. But other than that, I still think Ondo is pretty strong. Like I said, for me, I would just be cautious buying anything. If you want to start DCAing, that's fine. I would not be throwing every dollar you have into a coin. With Bitcoin up here, because to me, again, the market is just risk to reward. The risk is, okay, you're thinking this is the pico bottom of crypto, and then the next 6 months, 12 months is going to be like this. But in my opinion, if we come a lot lower and then we chop that bag that you're buying now, if you full ported it, maybe down another 20, 30, 40, 50%. And unless you're comfortable with that, just DCAing and then you DCA again and again, and that's totally fine. But I'm just so picky with entries and exits, especially from like a very long-term perspective. So that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. That's it. It's like right now it's just not really, this to me is not a very strong level whatsoever. Like it's just it's almost like when price was here. People thought that like we'd, bounce here. Oh. But most of the time price will just chop generally within previous price range. That's why I make massive ranges. It'll bounce through it sometimes and then just sit. I don't even know why I'm doing that. The replay tool is fun though. I use that to back test all the time. Chadwick, what's going on, bro? Hope all is well. Market's in shambles, but hope you're doing well, dude. Nico, I'm typing from my mom's basement right now. Feel that. That's why crypto's ruined, because people like you with no knowledge is doing whatever. Appreciate it, bro. Yeah. Thanks. I like it for long-term bag. Plasma XPL, stablecoin. Oh yeah, Plasma, bro. I had that on my watch list. Yeah, the most random shit on this. Where was that? XPL. This thing, I had so much faith in this. I wanted to see this recover, but after this ended up breaking structure down here, I knew this was going to keep going. No, but Plasma's still kind of strong. It's just, it's tough right now. It's tough for everything. Yeah, I do think it's still, like I said, overall strong coin. Again, sentiment, guys, there are tons of fundamentally strong coins, but it's just no one wants to buy them because of how shaky the market is. So yeah, what was stock? Yeah, stocks are still just doing whatever. Aside from like software stocks, a lot of them have just been kind of chilling. We got some Buttcoin, nice, dude. That's funny. Yo, that's actually been running though, right? I haven't been paying attention to memes for a little while. Oh my god, wait, what? Alright, Chad, you are killing it, actually. I did not even know this was moving. I've been so focused on the AI stuff on base. Didn't even realize memes were still moving. That's huge. Nice. Yeah, that's crazy. Wow. Yeah, what other are there a lot of memes moving? I've not watched memes at all lately. Actually, this war coin I've seen on and off. I don't know how supply controlled this is. I feel like it is like very hard. But whether it is or not, I really don't care, because I just always assume that it is. You should always assume the worst from new launches and meme coins just to protect yourself, but yepe. No. Howard Lutnick from the Trump admin is tight with Tether. XPO will have influence. Long with leverage. Yeah, I'd be careful, but I don't have too much to say on that, bro. I'd be very careful, cautious, long in anything heavy right now, aside from a short-term push. But yeah, I don't know. Be very careful with that. But we'll see. Yeah, maybe we do get a good balance going into the next few days here. I'm not opposed to it. Like I said, I just think regardless of whether we push up again, chop, at some point I think we're coming all the way down here. That's it. And that's when I want to start looking to load up. Yeah, actually very short term though. What is Bitcoin doing? I don't know. It's not very clear. Nothing's really that clear to me. Yeah, no problem, bro. Cluster. Oh, okay, so that's what's cluster decentralized multibook. Oh, that's that's what it was. Yeah, you're right. I just looked at this and I was like, what? Okay. Same thing. My first assumption whenever I see this is how supply controlled are these? Uh, hmm. Okay, I guess it's not as bad as I thought, but yeah, I mean it's got good liquidity. Maybe it keeps going, but from here, this is already God candled. Only thing I'm looking at is when I see that, is I'm waiting for this structure to just break. And if it has a huge dip, that would be the only time I'd look to enter. Yeah, you can't even draw this thing. It's just a weird ass. Yeah, I'd just be very cautious with that too. That's why I like to look for charts that are just very slow trending to the upside, that are kind of just doing something like this, but not on a 1 minute chart, like on a literal, 1 hour to 4 hour. A good example is actually, what was it, Laureate today that was running? I saw this. Same thing, like almost like a chart like this, I think is really good to see. Kind of just got chopping, dips, and the momentum, you can kind of just see it about to break out. Those are pretty good too. But this is an interesting coin too. I've been looking at. I don't really like the bags coins anymore, but I guess I've been looking at this a little bit. Loria, I'm not going to cover it, talk about it much. I'll put it in our group tomorrow to talk about it, but yeah, it's just this one I did not want to buy. It was not actually just about to buy it or anything. Lobster Meta has done nothing but costing money. Yeah, bro. It's been difficult. Yeah, it's like I've been degenning on and off too, and it's rough. Aside from like the trade we took on what was it, Claunch yesterday, the day before. Yeah, most of the micro caps, the new launches have been ridiculous. Yeah, it's been kind of wild. But also too, yeah, I guess at least right now there's not too much else I want to really cover. Virtual itself, I think they're doing another. Were they doing another re-rendition of their launchpad? I thought I saw something. I could be wrong. Actually, what is this? I didn't even look into this yet. 60 days, tokenize ideas without risk. Automatic capital formation. That's kind of interesting, actually. I want virtual to run it back so bad. But I don't know. We almost just need another virtual for this multi-meta. They need another coin that pairs with its initial coin, throws a ton of those coins into a ton of microcap liquidity pools, just goes on a biblical run. That's what we need. We need a really good infra token for this molt crap meta right now. Yeah, released a 60-day coin X40G. Oh, and you said that's live today? Oh, yeah. Yep. Weird looking chart. Classic. No, most of them look like that, though. I mean, okay. Yeah, I'd have to look into that more, but that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. There's not many, I don't know, not many major coins that I'm like, salivating over right now that I even want to be looking to buy, jump into. Molt launch though, this thing too. This was kind of like another Claunch, but for the Flaunch platform on base, which Flaunch actually has decent fundamentals. Oh no, I think their token was Flay. Wow, this is at 3 million now. But yeah, this was another launch pad. They're trying to be like the pump fun of base for a long time. Like I said, I think fundamentals are pretty good on it, especially for people deploying tokens, but just got zero momentum the entire time it's been out. Bro, yeah, I don't know. A lot of these meme coins, I don't know how they aren't at zero. It's like, yo, even still, some of like the memes from 2021, 2020, like what is it, Floki, and all these other random dog coins, bro. Like I don't even know how they're still in existence. Like people still hold those. Oh, I was looking at memes. I actually want to see what memes are doing. What the hell is meme core? Do they not have a meme? Are you kidding me? Why can I not find memes? I guess Solana meme? What? Yo, I must be like... There it is. I knew it was called meme. But yeah, I'm trying to think too, what else? Multiple posts where the AIs were conspiring to talk over encrypted chat were faked. Help to go viral, still a cool idea. Oh wow. Yo, yeah, there was a token called, what was it, Moltline. Yeah, using that XTMP stuff. That was one I was actually watching for a while too. Before I pull up memes. Yeah, 60%, damn. All of those, they literally lasted like 12 to 24 hours. Those beta plays, it's nuts. Oh wait, meme core is actually a meme? I've never heard of this. This is a meme coin. Yeah, I don't even care enough to look into it. I'm gonna act like I just didn't see that. I agree, Tau is very cheap. BitTensor is incredibly cheap anywhere. But with that being said, I still think it can go a little lower here. Yes, what is it? It's honestly, yeah, this is just not the best looking chart whatsoever. Because if you're looking at this from this way, it almost looks like you'd want to long it, right? I have a feeling it's probably going to come back down a little bit. But yeah, this is probably going to be a coin I slowly accumulate very long term. There's not many cryptocurrencies I like that I want to buy and hold for a very long time right now, but I still love BitTensor. Yeah, not too many right now. Yeah, yo, how... Ape and Pepe. Bro, there's no way. What is this? Polygon meme? Okay. Yeah, there's really not too much that I want to cover right now, guys. Yeah, I guess most of the meme coins just not even worth looking at. Yeah, I would say for now that is probably it for this stream. There's not too much else going on in the market right now while it's so slow. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. Have you DC'd more dreams? No, so I haven't done really anything with dreams yet, Chad. But no, actually, I talked about it earlier. Dreams, I think, looks good. Dreams, where is it? I really think this is still trying to coil up. Like, if it can't really hold this area here, though, I might just, I might cut us out of this. I still think this is a very strong coin, though, overall. But, yeah, it's not looking great, not looking horrible. Fundamentally, though, I think it's very strong. But, yeah, as of right now, I'm still just chilling on it. Yeah, maybe if we can see it push again. But other than that, just waiting. Yeah, $135 and $150 Tau. Possible. If Bitcoin goes to 60K. Yeah, I agree, definitely. I have a feeling it'll probably come. It might even. Yeah, I don't even want to sound so bearish, but maybe we get a $100 Tau again. That would be like worst possible case, but yeah, anything really well underneath the support is going to be a discount. Before anything though, just look for a chop. You don't need to be DCing into red candles wherever it stops. Just wait for price to subside and just do something like this. Because I'm really thinking that we are going into a longer term, slower period for crypto where a lot of coins kind of just chill out. So if we do get coins kind of bottoming and sitting for a while and they are sideways, that's when I'm going to be accumulating. So wherever those accumulation ranges sit, that's where I'm going to be looking. But yeah, as of right now, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up the stream a little early. So I do want to try to stream, though, a lot more, at least maybe once a week from here. And in the next few streams, I want to have a bunch of guests on and off coming in. We got Shizzy that I want to have in here. EA, I want to Crypto Millie. I want to get all the homies in here. Just talk about random stuff, thoughts on the market, what they're doing, different outlooks, stuff like that. So potentially this week, later in the week. But yeah, outside of that, guys, that's pretty much it. I appreciate all of you guys watching and tuning in because I know I haven't really streamed in literally months. So I appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video tomorrow and stream later in the week. So thanks, guys.